What's going on? I've already installed one of these on my wave blaster, and I bought another one because I'm putting it on the Superjet. But instead of doing like the full breakdown and showing y'all me installing this video, it'll be kind of a shorter one just so y'all can see how it's put on and maybe show you how to test it, make sure it's working. But if you hadn't caught on by the title, it's going to be a this is a Jetworks flow control valve. It's the standard size for a 3/8 hose, and this is essentially what you're going to get when you purchase one of these. There's the part number right there, 52-3118. So that's what you're going to get if you go with the Hot Products Jetworks. There are some other brands out there and some other versions of the Jetworks. I'm not really 100% sure on the other ones, but I know on this specific one, this is what you're going to get. And they're all pretty much tested the same way. You essentially, you're going to open it up. And pretty much what I've done with the ones that I have installed, so you've got, as you can see, the little sealed washer on that end. You're going to spring and that little ball. Don't lose the little ball. Very important. Obviously don't lose any of this stuff, but that's pretty much it. I don't know if you can see, it's just hollow with the hole going through. What you'll do is you'll stick, my first kit came with 3 washers. It must have been a later version, but this newer one came with 2 washers for the adjustments. So you'll stick the ball and the spring in the cylinder. And what I've found that works great for the 701s is doing 1 washer. You stick the 1 washer in there, and then you got obviously the other end. Work it in there. Keep some tension on it so it's still lined up. Yep, struggling. There we go. So there's that. You can get, you know, finger tight. I wouldn't go get a wrench or anything. It's obviously the other one. There's only one side like this and not the other side, because you want to be able to take it off if you need to put another washer in there or not. It also comes with the 3/8 hose stainless clamps in the kit, and it will come with some instructions if you need to read them and all that. And it breaks down pretty simple for you. But essentially, that's going to be how you build this. So let's go over here and I'll show you all what I've done on my blaster, and that will give you an even better example. So on here you can see it has an arrow and all that, a directional arrow right below the Jetworks. You're going to head toward the stinger. A lot of people refer to, you know, the stinger is the kind of what I would call the expansion chamber, like for dirt bikes terms. But you can see this one is down here. You can see it clamped right there. So I've come off of the head pipe down. I've got a T, obviously. One of them is the pisser, and then the other one goes on down. And I've just kind of got it wrapped around the exhaust hose right there. I'm trying to get this light to do it better for y'all. I'm struggling. So it just wraps around. You can see it. I'm moving it on the other end, and it's tying into the bottom part of the stinger. So that's where it goes. You will have the directional arrow pointing to, you can see, there's my arrow. It's pointing to the stinger from like the header and all that. So the direction heading into it, that's the way you want to do it. So that's how you pretty much install those. It's a pretty simple setup. I mean, installing one of these. So the benefit to these is what it does, it restricts the water flow. That's what the spring and the ball and all that, and adding the washers, which adds more pressure onto the spring, which blocks it off more where that ball is. You're blocking off the pressure, the water pressure heading into the stinger, expansion chamber, whatever you want to call it. Blocking the water off flow going into it at an idle. So when you're not in the throttle and you're not causing a lot of pressure, it's stopping the flow going into there. which the benefit to this is you get more bottom end power, like takeoff, because the exhaust is not having to push all the water that would have built up in there while it was just idling. So that's the benefit to these. You get more bottom end power with these as soon as you get back in the throttle, you know, from idling and all that. But that's how you install it. I'm going to show you how to test it next to really tell if you got it working. So I'm not going to turn it on. I don't have mine hooked up to water or anything. What you can do is, where it's going, the arrow from this, you'll take it loose from the stinger, and if your hose is long enough, you can take it loose and then have it hanging over the side. Now mind you, you're either hooked up to a water hose or backed into the water on the trailer, something like that. Still hooked up to the trailer. You'd stick the hose over or add a longer hose if that one's too short. You can, like I said, do that. Crank it up and let it idle. You know, obviously, if it hadn't been in the water, you gotta let the water flow get through it, you know, so it'd be coming out your other piston and all that too. But if there is no water, or maybe just a tiny little bit flowing through there, then you've got it set perfect for at idle. And then obviously give it some gas to make sure it is letting water through to get into here. So that's pretty much how you can test it to make sure it's working right. And that is the benefits to having the flow control valve installed on your modded 701. And hopefully this helps y'all and helps y'all understand how it works. And maybe if y'all want to get one, install it. I think it was around 40-50 bucks. Don't quote me on that, I'd have to look back. But pretty much what this kit, but it's nice that it comes with everything for you. I mean, all you gotta do is essentially cut the hose and install this, test it, make sure it's working right, and you're ready to rock and roll. Have a little bit more punch off the bottom end. So thanks for watching, and stick around, we got other videos coming, and see y'all next time.